Well, good morning, everybody. It is Tuesday, March 13th here, and just opening up the shop doors, obviously. Back over here to work on the planter here, so I'll spin you guys around here. So we've been going along on this rig here, and we've come quite a ways here just in the last couple days. Yesterday, we finished putting on the metal portion of all the second Yetter 2x2s. So it's this piece over. They all had to be completely flipped because they were set up for this side. So we had to flip them all completely around. A couple of the bolts are pretty stubborn, but they're all on. So we made that work. Before I forget, we did drain all that seed out. It looked like a lot of seed. It was and it wasn't. It's hard to perfectly gauge how much you're going to need and then drive 30 minutes one way to plant, and then you're going to have a bad day if you run out. So I don't know if that's why we put too much in. I really can't remember. So it is a lot of seed and it isn't. Somebody asked why we didn't clean it out in the, after we were done with the planter last spring. Reason for that is generally we just keep planting this spring, plant the same corn. That is non-GMO corn. We're going back to GMO corn this year, so any of that stuff that we would have planted that was in the planter when we would have sprayed, it would have wiped all that corn out. So that's the reason that was drained out, so that we can start fresh again. Otherwise, normally we would have just kept planting. We're still eyeballing a dual product pump. Typically with the pump that's on here, there's just one tower and has 12 lines, these that connect in and take it out to each row unit. With these Yetter 2x2s, we're side dressing this year. I think it's going to be 32% nitrogen, along with putting starter fertilizer in the middle, which is like a mixture of I don't remember, even phosphorus, something. Somebody's going to correct me here. It's too early in the morning for me. I'm a night shift guy, so take it easy on me. There's like 3 different things that are mixed together. Phosphorus, I'm not even gonna try it. Anyways, that'll come out of the other one. That'll save us from having to pull that dry spreader, spreading urea in the spring. And it also, instead of just broadcasting it out across the whole field, we're putting that fertilizer right where we need it and right where the seed needs it. So I think it's a lot more responsible way to do it, to do your application as well. We still have to figure out how to mount this. It's an aftermarket pump, so obviously it doesn't line up with the John Deere holes, which is fine. It's just easy to drill holes, but we have it up on wood here. We may have to lift it up about this much so that we're able to make our hose connections here for the product to come in. We'll have our risers, towers, and distributors up here. And then, so we're just not sure. The sprocket they had sent was not the same size as the chain on here, so we had to switch one or the other. Called the outfit that built this pump, that bought the other pump off this planter. They're sending back the sprocket that went with this, so we're just waiting for that in the mail. Once we get that in, we'll use a straight edge and we'll line up these sprockets, and then we'll know exactly where this needs to be mounted and how high it needs to be mounted in order of if the hoses are going to be bumped into this. We'll get that figured out, get this thing bolted down and get the chain on. Obviously the lines are already ran for, well, how we're going to do it is they're already ran for these. So we're going to disconnect the starter line off of this, and we're going to split this, and so that one line will each go to one of these 2x2s. So we'll have, that'll supply our 32% that's already on here. All these lines that are already on here. That's 32%. That'll be our side dressing. We'll have to run all new lines for the whole planter, for the starter. A little bit of a job, but worth it in the long run. Definitely worth it in the long run. So that's got to get done. The other thing that's going to happen here, this tank, it's a 2 1/4, I think, or 2 1/4, I think they said yesterday. It's unbolted. It's coming off. Not big enough. We'd be filling up far too often. That's going to be where we house our starter, and we'll be pulling that 1,000-gallon cart with the 32%. 5 gallons an acre, you're not going to get very far with a tank that size. So we went out, or he went out and ordered this aftermarket tank. We still have to figure out, him and my uncle, they have fabricated, or they haven't fabricated it yet. They've got a pretty good idea of a mount that they're going to build on those current pedestals up here. So today's job is, it's a lot heavier than it looks. We were going to pick it off by hand, the three of us yesterday, but it's too heavy. We're going to get the tractor over here. We're taking delivery of some seed anyways, so going to pick this off with the tractor. We're going to set this up just to roughly see. It's going to be tight. It's going to about touch the markers, and it's going to about go back to about here. It's big. It's really big. You can't put it all the way up here, because as you can see, right about here is where the planter hitch ends. So when this is just resting down here. That was bolted up here, so we took it off. But basically, when the planter's folded out, this retracts all the way up to the tractor 3 points. So you can't put anything up here. For those of you that aren't familiar with this style of planter. So we're gonna leave that pedestal as far forward as it'll go. We have to take this one off and just put it back over here, so they're as wide as we pretty much can make it. And then they're gonna make that bracket, or this little, they're gonna fabricate some channel and some iron to hold onto it and bolt it to, so we can get this big 400 gallon up there. And with 400 gallons of starter and a 1,000 gallon tank of nitrogen behind, they're going to be pretty close, I think. Or he was saying they're going to be fairly close in terms of when one runs out, the other one's going to be pretty low, or vice versa, which is hopefully the ideal plan. So that's all got to get fabricated, but we don't even have the steel to do that, so we won't be doing that today. We just want to confirm that, well, he wants to get that tank off to put on his planter, and we want to set this one up there just to double check that yes, it's going to fit. Because you can hold a tape measure here and there, but until you actually get it up there, you never know. So we're just going to pop that off here. Maybe I'll take a quick video of that. Maybe I'll take a quick video of what this one looks like up there. But not much else going on today. So I could show you in here. All the hydraulic hoses still got to get hooked up, which aren't too bad. This is the control for all the planter functions. Right, so we'll be mounting that probably over here somewhere. So we have to get that bracket for cab mount. And I think we were going to add some iron to it, my uncle said. And then he's got another one that bolts up here, so they might connect them. And then maybe even add some iron over here, you know, so that as you're sitting in here, you know, maybe you look at your 2020 Seed Sense here. Maybe you look at your iPad here. Maybe you got your planter controls here. You know, maybe you got your auto steer box up here. A lot of electronics that still got to get hooked up here. So I think I'm going to move the tool truck. And I'm going to back this thing out. And then we'll get the loader tractor over here. That was a lot longer to explain everything we're doing than I thought it was going to be. Oh, one other thing before I forget too. Those smart firmers. We still haven't put those on. But those are the things that'll be sensing the organic matter. So, I think he's doing 3 of them, which in my mind, thinking out loud, it doesn't make sense to do your outside row, because when you turn around, it's going to be the sensing the same matter 30 inches that way. I think maybe like this row, maybe skip 2 or 3, one back there, and then skip 2, and then maybe the same one over there, just so they're spaced out. I don't know. We'll have to see how it works. But we're asking a lot out of the planter, but I think this is the ticket. I think this is going to be a good way to go. Some agronomy guys are telling me that anhydrous is on its way out in the next couple of years. At least in Minnesota, they're making it so hard to get or do that it's just not practical. Where this is right here on the planter in the same pass, it's pretty slick. It's pretty slick, you guys. So yeah, that's what we're up to today. So see what else I can get on video.